Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to NetworkMarketingPro.com. My name is Eric Worry and I'm back with Len Clements. Yesterday, Len, we were talking about some of your background and what we want to try and accomplish in our great professional network marketing. And we left with the question of what is the difference between an illegal pyramid scheme and a perfectly legal network marketing organization. And as we finished, man, there's a lot of helicopters here. It's unbelievable. Where are they all going?
They're on the strip.
Just going around?
It actually was an Army helicopter.
It's an Army helicopter.
Near an Air Force base.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, you were finishing by talking about the structure is the only structure in the world that actually doesn't look like a pyramid. Mm-hmm. All other corporate structures have the CEO and the board of directors, and down it goes and down it goes. Right. But in ours it doesn't. Explain what you were talking about.
Well, actually, if you were to plot out the number of distributors on each level, we form more of a diamond-shaped organization where it tapers back down to a point. Also, if you were actually to look at the physical structure of an organization, of course it looks more like the roots of a tree, kind of branching off in many different random directions.
When he's saying the diamond thing, just so you understand, if you have 20 people on your front line, and then those people tend to have a little less, a little less, a little less, a little less. And if you're successful in your business, you will drive that point, the outside point, lower and lower in your business. But it'll still look like this, and then it'll start to look like this for the very brand new people at the very bottom. And if you continue to drive, because you're always going to have the most people in your organization have just joined. Mm-hmm. Most people in your organization haven't sponsored anybody yet. Right. You know what I mean? So you've got this structure. So my goal is to drive that point down as far as I can. Right. You know, that might be a little bit advanced for some of you.
And the type of plans also kind of influence that too. For example, matrix and binaries tend to form tall, skinny diamonds, breakaways and unilevels, short, fat diamonds, but there are inevitably a diamond shape. For it to really be pyramid, you could have 5 on your first level, 25 on your second, 125 on your third, 0 on your fourth. Not a single person of those 125 sponsored a single person, then somehow instantaneously, overnight,
they get 125.
They get 625.
625,
yeah. 0, and it just, obviously that's not how it works.
Yeah. All right, so that's the structure. Now, tell me what an illegal pyramid scheme is.
Well, first
define
of all,
that for me.
It can still have a product. In fact, some very good products out there have been associated with companies that have been closed down for being illegal pyramids. One based here in Vegas called Equinox, one of the most notorious pyramid schemes in history, was shut down by Federal Trade Commission. Had very good products. It really boils down to, obviously, if there is no product, then that's easy. But it boils down to motive, and the FTC has specifically declared this as well too. The motive for buying the product. Are you buying it because you genuinely want it and you would have purchased it anyway, even if there were no income opportunity, or are you buying it as a token act just to meet a quota in the comp plan? So Equinox was ruled a pyramid because people would buy in for $5,000, $20,000, sometimes over $100,000 of volume, and they didn't really want that product, obviously. It was just a buy into the point in the compensation plan. So most of the product can be purchased by distributors, but if it's because they actually want it because they love the product, that's perfectly fine. But again, it's what's the value of the product to an actual end consumer. If someone would really buy this at this price, even if there were no income opportunity. That's why, for example, a lot of companies that sell a website that sells products, if they charge for the website and make commissions on the website, not the products that are moved through it, the website's essentially a sales aid. Only a distributor would purchase the website. So if it's something only a distributor would purchase, then the only way to make money from that is by recruiting, because you have to recruit a new distributor. Only a distributor would buy that upfront package or that upfront fee or whatever. So again, it all boils down to what's the motive for buying the product.
Okay. So what role does the Direct Selling Association, the DSA, have in policing the legality? I mean, if somebody's a member of the DSA, is it safe to assume that they are not a pyramid, that they are...
No.
No? Okay.
The DSA, Direct Selling Association, has a 1-year probation period, and then you become a full-fledged member of the DSA. Then you pay very substantial dues the larger your company gets. Well, Equinox was a member of the DSA. In my previous company, several years ago, we used to brag about the fact that we were DSA members, and I got tired of people saying, well, so is Equinox. And I'd have to just say, touche, you're right. And then when Equinox was closed down, a bunch of their distributors left and created essentially a clone of Equinox called Trek Alliance, which gained membership into the DSA and then was ultimately closed down for being a pyramid. Why did he travel, for example? And I'm just simply stating facts on opinions here, but they were declared a pyramid by the state of California, their home state of Illinois, since resolved in California with some major changes. But all of this occurred during their one-year probation period, and yet they were still admitted into the DSA. The AG case is still ongoing.
Okay.
So again, if you pay your dues, it seems you essentially...
So DSA isn't that automatically a qualifier?
I would say it's a factor you should consider. I think being a DSA member is better than not being a DSA member.
Yep.
I would also look at organizations like the DRA and the MLM as well too. Are they involved with those organizations? But I certainly wouldn't say just because they're a member of this trade organization that must mean they're squeaky clean.
Okay. Well, let's talk just real practical for the people watching. If they are met with this allegation of illegal pyramid scheme, what tools would you give them? What words would you give them? What facts or arguments would you give them to make the case that it isn't?
First of all, someone simply said, well, because you're in the MLM business, it must be one of those pyramids, as opposed to a specific reason why they're saying that about your company. First thing I would just acknowledge is that, well, it's essentially a 73-year-old industry now. The first legally recognized unilevel comp plan was actually back in 1936. So almost a 74-year-old industry. There's over 2,000 companies. It's in over 100 countries where it's legally recognized. There's all kinds of evidence. Obviously, if this was a pyramid scheme, this particular business model, then somebody would have figured it out by now. But we do suffer guilt by association. And I always tell people, yeah, there are companies out there that try to look like legitimate network marketing companies that are really pyramid schemes. Mm-hmm. But the reason why pyramid schemes try to appear to be network marketing companies is because they want to appear legal and legitimate. That's their reason for doing that, because we are a legal, legitimate business. So I try to get the prospect to understand there is absolutely a line between the two, and then just basically help them define what that is, which again, it all goes back to motive. Is it they have a legitimate product of value, or is it just something they threw in to have an excuse to exchange cash?
Right. Well, all of this, I hope this conversation is helpful to you, because all of this is part of our education. Like you self-educated, you self-educated yourself, right? You went through the self-education process of learning what is, what isn't, how does this work, becoming an expert witness, being an advocate for the profession, being an expert on the profession. I'm not saying that everybody has to become court certified like Len here in order to be able to feel stronger about what you do. But I want this to maybe add to your sense of self-esteem about our profession. And if that does that just a little bit, and we get enough people being a little bit stronger and a little bit prouder, what I told people on a previous show is I said, you know what, if somebody tells me I don't like that MLM stuff, most of the time that means they've tried it and it didn't work for them. Mm-hmm. Or, like you said, they've heard about it from somebody else and it didn't work for them. I mean, that's almost 100%. So I want to find out their story, and I want to find out why they came to that perception, what happened, really break it down, because if we do that, I think we can get to the other side. But again, all we're trying to do inside of Network Marketing Pro is slowly help network marketing reach this tipping point where it becomes much more mainstream worldwide. That's going to take education, it's going to take self-awareness, it's going to take policing ourselves on other different issues. But I'm going to have Len come back on future shows, but for now, ladies and gentlemen, my wish for you is that you decide to become a network marketing professional, that you decide to go pro. It is a stone cold fact that we have a better way. Now let's go tell the world. Everybody, have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.